So this is everything I bought in Japan. Thanks to a few weeks of traveling, a favorable exchange rate, and way too many good camera stores, I came home with one very expensive suitcase. So today I'd like to share everything I bought during a 3-week trip around Japan, as well as some recent pickups I've made since returning home. Let's get into it. Alright, so let's start with some of the camera gear. These first few items relate specifically to film photography, which is something that I've really enjoyed recently. My main film camera that I use is actually my dad's old Nikon L that he bought back in 1974. This thing is a lot of fun to shoot on. So the first pickup I made was this 35mm prime lens for the Nikon. This is a f2 lens. It's nice and compact, and this was definitely on the top of my shopping list specifically to get in Japan because they don't make these lenses anymore. Obviously, these are vintage Nikon lenses, and I knew it would just be a bit easier to find in Japan. This is honestly one of the cheaper lenses that I've ever bought, but the quality is really good and it pairs very nicely with the Nikon. I already had a 50mm lens which came with the camera. I definitely do like that focal length. It's very natural to kind of how your eye sees, but for street photography, I think it's a bit tight at times. Tight, yeah! And I much prefer the 35mm length, especially in kind of tighter streets, whether it's in Tokyo or here in New York City. I find that 35mm is definitely the sweet spot for me. I was able to find it at what I think is the best camera store I've ever been to, Kitamura Camera in Shinjuku. I used to think B&H Photo here in New York City was the best camera store, and it's still a great store, but Kitamura Camera is just on a different level. They've got a great selection of used gear, vintage Leicas, all that good stuff. If you're ever in Tokyo and you're into photography, cameras, anything like that, definitely worth a trip. Just walking around the store is a good time. They can also develop your film there, and despite it being this popular, busy store, the turnaround time is insanely fast. I dropped off a roll towards the end of my trip, and they said I could pick it up in an hour, which just blew my mind. That's unheard of here in the States. It always takes me at least a few days or a week to get some film developed. So that definitely made me just want to start shooting film even more while I was there. I still have mainly been shooting digital photography lately because it's just a bit more convenient, and I do think that for improving your photography skills, digital makes it a little bit easier to just get out and shoot more, which is the most important thing. But I do really enjoy the process of film photography and find that the shots that I take on film always end up feeling a bit more meaningful. Next, I wanted to get a new camera strap for the Nikon. Since this camera is about twice my age and has some sentimental value, I thought it deserved something nice, so I got this handcrafted silk strap from this company Artisan & Art, which is a Japanese brand, and it feels super high quality. It's way different from those cheaper camera straps that you get on Amazon or something. Also very light, which pairs nicely with the Nikon given how heavy it is, but it also feels very secure and sturdy, and I just love the look of this. Very nice camera strap. Next up, I got this 90mm macro lens for my Sony digital camera. Also got this one at Kitamura Camera used for about half off from the retail price. And the reason I picked this up was so that I could start scanning my film at home. As I've gotten more into film photography, I've learned that scanning your negatives at home is actually a fairly simple and straightforward process and gives you a lot more control over how the final image looks. All I need to do is attach this to my Sony a7C II, and then I use this Veloy light box thing that I put on the end of the macro lens, and I feed the film negatives through it. Basically just take a picture with my a7C II, and then I can convert them into a positive in Lightroom. And it's honestly just a super fun, kind of therapeutic process that makes me want to shoot film even more. And then I also recently picked up just this simple binder off of Amazon to store my film negatives. Now, another thing I picked up while I was there, kind of out of necessity, was this slim little MagSafe battery pack. I was running low on battery and I left my charger at the hotel, but luckily I walked past the Anker store in Harajuku, so I just walked in and grabbed one of these, and it's really nice. I'm impressed with the technology. 5,000 milliamps, super slim, snaps onto the back of my phone, don't gotta deal with any cables. Very nice. Anker is definitely my go-to brand for any sort of charging accessories for my phone, laptop, iPad, AirPods, any of my devices. One of my all-time favorite products from them is their 3-in-1 charger, something that I use every day to charge my devices at home, but it's definitely an essential anytime I travel. I used to have to bring a separate cable and charger for all my different devices, and it just would turn into this whole mess, tangle at the bottom of my bag or my suitcase. And now, thankfully, all I have to bring is this one charger. It can charge my iPhone, my Apple Watch, and my AirPods all at once, and it can fold down into this nice compact form that can easily slip into my bag and then unfold at any point to turn into a proper phone stand. Another one I've enjoyed using lately is their smart display charger. It's super tiny, folds up, and it's got this little screen on the front that actually shows you what's happening, the wattage, the temperature, and how fast it's charging your device. When connecting my device, the charger instantly recognizes that I'm using an iPhone 17 Pro, and in care mode, it keeps my phone battery temperature 9 degrees lower than other 45-watt chargers to preserve long-term battery health. But this doesn't mean it compromises on speed at all, and still has up to 45-watt high power output, which can efficiently charge not just an iPhone, but iPads too. You can also rotate the prongs to either 90 or 180 degrees so you can fit the charger into tight spaces and still have the display face you at all times. I've been a happy customer of Anker for almost 10 years now, long before I started on YouTube, so it's pretty amazing that they've now become a sponsor of the channel. I'll leave a link down in the description to some of my favorite products from Anker, including the 3-in-1 charger and the smart display charger, as well as a cheeky little discount code for you. Big thank you to Anker for sponsoring today's video. All right, next up, we've got another lens pickup. Yes, I know I went a bit crazy on the camera gear purchases, but I just couldn't resist with all of the good deals on used gear and the good exchange rate, tax-free purchases. My wallet is hurting a little bit though. But this one is the 55mm Zeiss prime lens. I got this primarily for street photography, although I'm sure it would make a very good portrait lens. I felt like carrying this along with my 35mm prime lens would be kind of the perfect setup for street photography. They're both very compact, high quality lenses. This one is f1.8, and yeah, I haven't shot on it too much yet since I've still just been loving 35mm, but I will definitely do some dedicated 50mm or 55mm photo sessions in the coming weeks. All right, next we've got a fun one that I picked up actually after I got back from Japan, and that is the Sony RX100 Mark VII. This is a really expensive but really fun camera to use. Honestly, probably wouldn't recommend that most people get this because its price is still pretty insane, even though it came out in 2019. But that's because there's really no other camera on the market that I'm aware of that can do what this camera can do. It's got this crazy 24 to 200 zoom, as well as this pop-up viewfinder and pop-up flash, and it films 4K video. It's got a tilt screen, fits in your pocket, and shoots pretty good quality photos and videos. But the main appeal of this is just the size. I don't think there's a camera as versatile on the market that can genuinely fit in your pocket. Like, it can fit in my jeans pocket, so there's literally no excuse not to bring it with you anywhere you go. But I have also been testing out to film some extra video for my YouTube channel, especially when I go out on photo walks. It's nice to be able to get some extra zoomed in angles for videos, so you might see some more footage from this on the channel soon. But yeah, let me know if you want me to do like a full day of street photography and street video using just this camera. That might be pretty interesting to really kind of push it to its limits. But yeah, fun little camera. Next up, I got this little handle thing that actually attaches onto my DJI Osmo Nano, which is the camera that I've been using for anytime you see sort of like POV angles in my videos. It's using this little nice compact camera, but I learned that it's also waterproof up to like 10 meters, I think. And so while I was in Okinawa, I was able to use this camera paired with this handle to film under the water. And the reason I got the handle was because it can kind of go around my wrist, and then it also floats up. So if I did lose the camera or it came out of my hand, which thankfully it didn't, it would float to the surface and I wouldn't lose it. So yeah, this thing was definitely nice and a lot of fun to shoot with while I was traveling. Right, now let's get into a few non-camera gear related, just general lifestyle purchases that I made. One are these Onitsuka Tiger shoes. I've been wearing these gray and white ones for quite a while now. They're pretty beat up, and so I needed a new pair, and I ended up going a bit out of my comfort zone and getting the yellow ones. I know they're maybe a bit bold for my taste, but they've sort of grown on me. I feel like I'm not super into fashion or anything and don't really know what I'm doing, honestly, but I normally just wear these kind of plain, simple outfits from Uniqlo, and so having a part of my outfit that's a bit more bold, I feel like might be nice. While I was in Okinawa, I also got these two handcrafted mugs that I really like. The blue is super bright and crazy looking, but this is like pretty accurate to what the color of the water there actually was, which is this nice, just magical shade of blue. So I've definitely been using these a lot as my go-to cups. And then I stocked up on some matcha. I've been drinking a lot more matcha recently, not too much coffee, and I feel a lot better, honestly, less kind of anxious and jittery, and more just calm and chill and peaceful drinking matcha. I know maybe it's kind of basic now, but I've been enjoying matcha for many years before it was trending, I promise. All right, so a few more pickups I made are actually some photo books. As I've been getting more into photography and trying to develop my skills, I've been looking for sources of inspiration away from social media. I think social media can be fine, although I found that a lot of the photos I see on social media kind of lean one way towards these aesthetic compositions and going towards certain hot spots, and a lot of the photos just kind of end up looking pretty similar. And so I've been looking for other places to kind of develop my eye and change how I see the world when I go out and practice photography. And so one of the places I've been looking is photo books. The first one I got was kind of just for fun. I saw this at a used bookstore in Tokyo, and it's a photo book entirely of cat pictures. It was published in 1978, so it's a bit older and interesting, and I don't know, I just liked it. I'm a bit of a cat person. I have like 3 cats, and after seeing all of these stray cats in Zamami in Okinawa and just around Japan, it kind of made me want to start collecting more photographs of not just my cats at home, but any sort of cats that I see out and about in the world, because I do, like cats. Then the next one I picked up for more serious study is The Suffering of Light by Alex Webb. Alex Webb is a well-known photographer for his more complex layered compositions and use of shadow and light and contrast and color. And honestly, just looking through his work has really changed how I see the world and what sort of photographs I try to take, especially when practicing street photography. And yeah, his compositions are just really interesting to me with all the different subjects and layers, and are just way different from things that you typically see on social media. And it's definitely changed the way I try and shoot and practice photography. And yeah, if you're interested in street photography, would definitely recommend checking out some of his work. This is what I've been studying lately, and it also just feels nice to hold a proper big book and look at these images printed out in nice high quality on paper. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much. I really appreciate you, and if you haven't already, make sure that you click subscribe to help support the channel. I know this was a more product-focused gear update type of video. I'll be back to my usual photography session vlog sort of situation that I enjoy making most, but it is fun every now and then to just chill at home and nerd out with you guys over some camera gear and various things like that. Now, if you want to see what it's like actually using all this camera gear out in the real world, click here to see the latest video from me. See you over there.